You know what's the crazy part about life is that you and I are going to continue learning things until we die. My greatest discovery for 2025 is networking. And in this episode, I gotta give you the tea, okay? Welcome to Redoctoring. My name is Dr. Diane, and this is the podcast that gives you permission to be a different kind of doctor. To my returning listeners, what's up? Thank you for coming back. And to my new listeners, thank you for joining us. Today is episode 10. I'm so excited. We've finally reached double digits for the podcast, but also this topic has had me in a chokehold since I've discovered its power. In today's episode, I am going to touch on networking and how to go about it if you're an introvert, an extrovert, why it's important, my testimony, and where I think networking is going to in the future. So if you're intrigued, I'm going to need you to go get yourself some tea because it's winter time and sip on that tea while I give you this tea, okay? So, a while ago, I learned about this theory called 6 degrees of separation. It was a theory that stated that you are actually 6 connections away from anyone on this planet. You and Cupcake, you and your favorite artist, you and the Kardashians, you are actually 6 people away from actually being in their circle, from being in their space. This is crazy, hey? The theory is called 6 degrees of separation. It was first made, somebody made a story about it in the 1920s, and then a psychologist actually started investigating it in the 1960s. So if you're intrigued and want to learn more, I highly encourage you to go and Google that. That in itself should actually tell you the power of networking, okay? You are able to get yourself into places that you are not able to, but the other person can. Now, a common misconception is that only extroverts can network. That if you are an introvert, if you like your own space, if you like if you like your own space, if you don't like putting yourself out there because you're not loud, that's just a bit too much, people feel like you can't if you are. Another thing is that some people also believe that networking should only happen when you have the job or when you are where you want to be. We need to talk about all these misconceptions, okay? We really have to. So number 1, if you are an introvert, how are you going to go about networking? My honest opinion is because we have social media, nobody can really be an introvert. Follow me. Social media makes us all extroverts. If you are able to post and put yourself out there. Now, I'm an extrovert sometimes. I consider myself to be an ambivert, but I do tend to sometimes gallivant in the extroverted land. And sometimes doing that is already too much for me. So I can only imagine how it can be too much for an introverted person. So how can you put yourself out there if it already feels like it's too much in your mind? So firstly, we need to work on your mind. You need to tell yourself in your mind that this is not too much. You just need to lie to yourself. You need to lie and gaslight yourself into doing it. That's our topic for another day. The fact that sometimes you just have to lie to yourself to get the job done, okay? But secondly, I highly, highly believe in the power of LinkedIn, okay? Back in the day, networking was only possible by going to all these events, going to the networking events, going left, right, center, spending on your clothes, spending on your petrol. That was the only way to network. But in today's society, because of social media, we have an infinite amount of ways to get to know people. I've really been dipping my foot, gallivanting, trotting in the land of LinkedIn. It is a lot more interesting than you would like to believe. When I say LinkedIn, you are going to think about people only posting their achievements or what it is that they're doing in their jobs or things like that. But LinkedIn is a whole new ball game in 2025. I believe that you can show up as a normal person, and if you are able to link it back into your profession, or you don't even have to, you just need to say, God is great, hallelujah, hallelujah, and people will actually, celebrate that or whatnot. You can actually post a lot of things on LinkedIn, but I like the vibe of storytelling and linking it back into my profession, that type of thing. I feel like that creates a nice, good story. So yes, I believe that if you are an introvert, you can LinkedIn. You really can. You just need to get over the whole thing about posting and putting yourself out there, which is something that even extroverts deal with. And that's a situation that we need to deal with another day. I know if you are burnt out or if you are really hating where you're at in life, it can feel like an extra burden. It can feel like an extra task upon you to go and actually find the energy to do something different from what you usually do. But the rewards of networking, the rewards of possibly being put in the places that you want to be put in, the rewards of having the doors open that you want to open, does the possibility of that happening not outweigh whatever limitations or inhibitions you're feeling? Like, does it not? I feel like it should. I really feel like it should. If you're an extrovert, okay, you can do about anything. You can do just about anything. You can LinkedIn, or you can do personal interviews, not interviews, but like personal meet and greets and those type of things. But that also just depends where you're at in the country. If you're in the big cities, that's really possible, but if you're in the smaller cities, it's not so much. I believe that the opportunities that you feel are inside and that you are capable of are found on the opposite side of putting yourself out there. If you are burnt out, you're not liking your job, and you want to find another job, or you want to tap into another industry, sometimes it's not good enough just doing the courses. It's not good enough just doing the things that they tell you to have on paper. What will really help you is if someone inside can say your name and push your application to the top. Unfortunately, that is the world that we're living in. It's not enough to just know what's in your head. What is in your head is not enough. What somebody can say of you and your name coming out of the right person's mouth, that is what changes the game in today's society. And even if you are disillusioned about your career path, or you're a student and you don't know what the next phase looks like, getting to know other people who have lived that, getting to know other people and hearing their stories, that is what is going to help you. That is what's going to push you into either recovery or help you to navigate and see what else you can do with your life or with wherever you are at. I want to share my testimony. I want to bring this home and I want to show you, okay, that you can do this. You just need to believe, you just need to believe. So basically, a while ago, I had a job opportunity come my way, but it didn't work out. So that's the end of the story, that it didn't work out. But how I got it was with networking. I know a couple who are in my church and also in my gym. And because I speak to them regularly, eventually we find out that, I'm a doctor and I'm without work. Oh, boo hoo 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 hoo. Turns out the husband knew a doctor in town who was looking for someone. Now, this doctor, I went to had the interview. It was not a good fit. But had it been a good fit, that doctor was ready to hire me in like 2 weeks to be part of his practice. And yes, you can look at it and be like, oh my gosh, you didn't get the job. Or you can look at it and be like, wow, the right person said my name to the right person, and that could have become an opportunity, you know? Another thing to look at, another angle to look at this is the fact that I gym, okay? I am outside and I am where the other people are. And being in gym or being in a space where you enjoy and you're with other people, this is a very easy place to just start talking. And you never know what conversations are going to come up because of that. My brother, he also had a few job opportunities that came his way because he was doing what? He was gymming. He was gymming. And he's also just one of those gym people who talks to anyone who's near them. Another testimony of mine is this podcast. So I enjoy social media. I really do. Contrary to what other people say, I think it's very intriguing. And I've been intrigued by LinkedIn for the longest time. So in April, I made a post which said I have not been working. No, it said I haven't touched a patient in 100 days. This is what I've learned. It was so cute like that. And to my surprise, it went LinkedIn viral. It really did. Now, from that post going LinkedIn viral, I had like 2 or 3 recruiters in my DMs. Somebody else connected me with a doctor in Gauteng who was looking for a locum doctor to help in his GP, in his practice. All those opportunities didn't work out. Oh, there was also a CEO of a medical aid company who came into my DMs like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? What's happening?" But that also didn't work out. But what did work out is the fact that some of the girls at University of Pretoria found me and they were able to invite me over to come and speak about my medicine journey and what medicine looks like in South Africa. I spoke to students who have other degrees but want to come into medicine. Now, from that experience, that's what inspired me to start this podcast, which is crazy. Like, it can literally only be God, because I've never thought of myself to be someone who speaks. Like, yes, I speak, but like, the type of speaking that you do on a podcast, oh, it's next level. It really is. I think growing up, I just felt like because I can't say the word R, I was just like, you know what, that's not going to put me in, the really big places, or it's not going to put me on the news to like read the news or something. But like, here I am doing a podcast saying the word R many times. I mean, even the name of the podcast starts with R. Like, literally, some things in life can only be God. Can only be God, and God can only work when you network. Oh, that's a quote. That's a quote. We need to put that on a t-shirt, okay? God can only work when you network. I'm sure for you, you also may have quite crazy stories about what knowing specific people has done in your life and what it has done for you, or like people that you know. And that's a testimony. That's a testimony to networking, okay? Network. Network if you want to increase your net worth, okay? That will be the second t-shirt that we produce. So now, the future of networking. I truly, truly believe in the platform that is LinkedIn. Not only for what it's done for me, but what it's done also for other people that I see. The other day I was doing some CPD points. I needed to get some CPD points, and the topic that I had picked, which was clinical, was like how to grow your practice, and it spoke about the personality brand of a doctor. For quite a while, I've been saying that we all need to work on our personal brands, just as individuals, as people. Like, you have to work on your personality, and you also have to work on your brand. Now, the fact that I got CPD points for it, it means it's a thing. Oh, it means it's a thing. But also, I don't want you to get to my age or get to my point in life where I'm having to navigate and learn so much right now in my messy middle. I want you to be able to be stable and take things one step at a time. And one thing that you need to be able to do right now, as you are stable in whatever capacity you're in, whether you're a student or whether you're working, is networking. Like, you really have to. If you can't speak, then you can post. And if you can't post, then we need to work on your mind first so that you are able to. A lot of things in life are actually not that bad. They're actually not that bad if you change your mindset towards it. It's one thing I wish somebody told me as a medical student. I wish that somebody told me, listen, networking starts from the moment you are in first year, okay? From the moment you are in first year. You see those people who always have the answers to everything. They have the answers to all the tests. They have the answers to all the tests. They just know what's happening and they look so chilled. You know how easier it would have been in med school had I known the people who were like that, like had I connected with them. But I stayed so much in my shell. I was also so much more of an introvert, and I believed in hard work is what gets you success. But in the day and age that we live in, it is the person who knows people who gets the success. Now, I'm not saying you need to now not do your best and learn as much as you can. You really do. You have to. But the power that comes with the right person saying your name in the right spaces, that's unmatched. That is unmatched. And I want you to start to get better at that. I want you to start to navigate that. I want you to think about that. At the very least, just start thinking about it. You know this. I think I say it like every episode that I'm navigating this post-ComServe season. And the stories that I've heard of people getting posts and how they get their posts, I'm not going to say anything officially on the internet, but it helps to know someone. one thing I believe in this life is you either need to be a plug or you need to be an extension cord, okay? The plug, that is someone who is connected to the wall. They are connected straight into the energy grid. They are the people who they just know people, and usually, no, not usually. They can be an introvert or they can be an extrovert. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But the plug is connected in the grid. They're connected to ESCOM. They are just around and they are connected, okay? Or you can be an extension cord. The extension cord is the one who is connected to the plug. But you know what's the common denominator with both of these people or both of these things is they are connected. Connection. That's the word of the episode. You need to be connected to something or someone. You can't be an isolated iPhone charger because an isolated iPhone charger does nothing. It does nothing. You need to connect that iPhone charger either to the extension cord that's connected to the plug or directly to the plug. The extension cord, I don't know where I'm going with this analogy, but all I'm saying is you need to be connected in order to get where you want to be or to fulfill your purpose. Fulfilling your purpose needs other people. Fulfilling your purpose needs connection. That is why networking is so important. Even as a student, you know what I've been seeing? On the LinkedIn? These students are already building their personal brands. And I look at my little sister and I'm just like, girl, look at what these people are doing. My sister's finishing up physiotherapy, going into ComServe next year, and she wants to do a specific thing with her career. And I'm just telling her, baby girl, you know everything here. But now you need to know everyone here. You need to know people. And another way of doing that, because you don't know where you're going to end up in the country for ComServe, is to start building your personal brand on LinkedIn. I see students make posts. Students have come into my DMs. And yeah, I mean, can you imagine if you're a student and already you're building your LinkedIn profile and you know people and you know that you want to go into corporate or you want to go into a path that's not very traditional, and you have someone, you found a mentor or you found someone who can say your name in a space. That is powerful. That is a powerful commodity in today's day and age. I'm going to teach my children actually one day that they need to start networking from preschool. I'm going to sit with them and I'm going to tell them, listen, I had to learn this at 28, but you are 3. Or wow, I don't know what age do people start preschool. You are 3. When you're in that sandbox, when you're in that sand pit, you better be talking, okay? Or you better be just, I don't know. If children, you better be playing. You better be playing, okay? When you're building up those blocks, you're not just building blocks, you're building connections. When you're playing with that Play-Doh, you're not just playing with that Play-Doh. You are playing to stimulate the mind and then to connect. That's how I'm gonna raise my kids. Okay, from the time they step foot into that daycare or preschool, they need to be here. Can you imagine if we started networking? If we started networking as kids, you know where we would be? I joke too much. I really do. Now I went on a tangent. Not to bring us back. I'm just saying, LinkedIn it's kind of the underdog. It's the underdog, but it's the perfect place to post if you are an introvert or if you're an extrovert, because ain't nobody know what they doing over there. All that they know is that you can post a lot of things on LinkedIn. I saw somebody post a gym selfie the other day. A very respectful one, because of course you can't be posting like the very nude type of gym selfies on a professional platform. But yes, a lot of things go, and I highly encourage you to dive deeper into it. Go onto LinkedIn. It's more than just looking for jobs. You need to start looking for the job before you actually need the job. Genuinely, that's the third t-shirt we will produce, okay? You need to look for the job before you need the job. And I'm going to take it. This is my duty, okay? To tell you this because nobody told me this, okay? So yes, that's today's episode. I highly, highly, highly encourage you, go down the rabbit hole of what feels like it makes more sense to you. In this life, you're either a plug or an extension cord, but don't be an isolated phone charger, okay? The plug is connected to Eskom, the grid, they see it all. The extension cord is connected to the plug, so they know a plug, so hence they're connected. But an isolated iPhone charger does nothing for no one. So don't be isolated, stay connected. That might be the fourth t-shirt, but yes, to wrap it up, if you have been watching on YouTube, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if this is the first time you have heard a medical professional telling you that you need to network, and if you've never thought that it was necessary in your career, because once upon a time, I also thought it was not necessary, and now I'm learning the hard way. And the point of this podcast is for you to have blueprints to things that I didn't have at my time, because I like you like that. Now, if you are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, please leave me with 5 stars, give a review, give a nice little comment as well. You can actually do that on Spotify. I'm not sure with Apple Podcasts, not sure. And if you want to follow our social media platforms, we are on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you want some references as to how I've been posting on my LinkedIn, feel free to go and stalk. My name is Diane, Diane. Surname, Tengu, Tengu. And then you can go see what I'm posting. I post like a human being. I'm not posting studies and things like, oh my gosh, there's a new medication on the market just because I'm a doctor. No. I'm posting because I'm a human being. But yes, this has been Redoctoring. I've given you the permission to be a different kind of doctor. I hope you will do the same for yourself. Signed by Dr. Diane. Bye!